Now we've got four great folks in talking about a big event that is going to be tomorrow from 1 to 5 at St. David of Wales Episcopal Church in Shelton. Windows in Time, 70 years celebrating together. Father Joe, Patti Case, Billie, Norm, all on the air with us here this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you for talking and coming on to share a little bit about this event. Father Joe, we'll start with you. Good morning. And 70 years for the Episcopal Church in town. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, pretty amazing. 1 to 4, actually.
Oh, is that what it is?
1 to 4,
All
but
right.
yes, pretty amazing. And turns out that I'm 70 years old, so that helped me remember the birth of the church,
For sure.
1948. Yeah,
For
pretty
sure.
amazing. But these folk right here, they have the history of how St. David's came together in 1948. Norm has written a book about that, and we'll have a book signing about that, and Patty's part of our Festival of Lessons and Carols, which is one of our feature events for this gathering, and we'd love to have the whole community come and be a part of that and just take a tour, kind of an open house, and yeah, lovely.
70 years. Norm, tell me a little bit about the history of the Episcopal Church in town and what kind of changes and things have you seen over the years?
Well, I'm old enough to have seen a few of them. David Shelton, when he planted a town, gave a lot to the Episcopal Church and the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church, and the Methodist Church.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was paving his way through the pearly gates.
Just making sure.
Making
Covering
sure.
all bases.
So actually, the Episcopal faith, like most of the others, has been here since the 1850s.
Wow.
The 70 years is the life of the building that we're in, the church building. It was built in 1948. And before that, of course, we had services various places around town, Memorial Building, even rented the Baptist Church part of the time. So it's evolved like most faiths, I guess, in Shelton have, from a small group of people that came together in the early days. And then eventually got to a point in 1948 where they could financially and were big enough to get into a building.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're celebrating is the 70 years of our nice little church building over on the other side of town.
So how has the numbers of the parishioners increased over the years? What kind of numbers do we see nowadays?
Well, the numbers today are nothing and don't reflect the past very well. In 1948, 49, we had 100 children in Sunday school.
Wow.
When you think about that. Today, maybe we have 1 or 2 at the most, and we're more an older population today. So that reflects, I think, more the demographics of the community, changes in industry and so on that bring a different type of families, more younger families in the old days and older folks today.
Well, then I would say that this weekend would be a great reason to reconnect with the Episcopal Church. Billie, tell me a little bit about all the stuff that you've been doing with them over the years, and what's it like to be a member of the church?
I've been with the church since 1948, believe it or not.
Wow.
I was at the first. I was at the dedication when Bishop Bain was here, and it was wonderful. I think I was about so many years old. I went with my mother, and I don't know. I was married in church. My kids were baptized there, and my daughter was married there, and they've all been confirmed. It's been a family for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that I appreciated. If I don't see my family every Sunday, people I don't see the rest of the week at all,
Right.
that it's good to go. So that's part of it. The church has changed a little bit in the years, but not significantly so. I've worked with the Saints Pantry since 1981,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still on the board of directors for the Saints Pantry. And what else have I done, Joe?
A whole ton of things, I'm sure.
Things that are not included with church. But I've been part of the church for that long.
What is it about the family that you have created in the Episcopal Church that keeps bringing you back. What is it about? And Patti, you can come in on this, Father Joe as well. What is it about the congregation that is so tight-knit, keeps you coming back for so many years and things like that?
So I actually grew up in the church as well, Jeff. And I remember Billie and I remember Norm. Norm used to stand behind me in the choir and still does. Is that amazing? I was gone for many, many years. Coming back to this church is really special. Partly because of the history. It has such a rich history, but also the people. The people are amazing, and some folks come and go, but some of these folks literally have been around forever. I just want to mention one thing about our open house, and that is we're going to have a tour of our stained glass windows. And Father Don Maddox, who was the priest at St. David's for many years, actually is going to do the tour. So I remember as a kid, we didn't have those stained glass windows. We had different windows. And then one year I came back from college and there they were, or at least were starting to be installed. So pretty cool story even right there. Just
neat.
One thing after another that really means family and history and love.
Father Joe, tell us a little bit more about what else will be happening on Saturday.
Well, I wanted to just let people know about our history. Billie mentioned that she was part of Saint's Pantry when it first started, and with St. Edward's, and that's how it got the name Saint David, St. Edward's. But we also been involved in Community Lifeline and its creation, and the shelter and the feeding program, and Hope Garden, which is a fantastic program for young teens, and also Host, which is housing opportunities for students in transition. We've been a part of starting things or helping to facilitate things to happen in terms of reaching out to the dispossessed in our community. Big responsibility we've taken on, so we love that. But one of the big events that's happening this Saturday is the Festival of Lessons and Carols, and April Kerr, who went to high school with Patti. Maybe Patti can tell us a little bit about that.
Many folks know April Kerr, who grew up in the community and is an amazing pianist and organist, and is also directing the Festival of Lessons and Carols. So I think we think of carols as Christmas carols.
Sure.
It's not quite like that. So in the Episcopal Church, we celebrate Advent. Advent is a time of waiting, a time of anticipation for Christmas, and it's a time to get your affairs in order. And I think that's really important as we sort of get involved in that Christmas rush. It's, I think, extremely important to consider, to think inward a little bit. So the Advent Lessons and Carols is a series of lessons and carols that tell the story leading up to Christmas. It's pretty amazing, and a whole lot of minor tones, but an absolutely beautiful program that we've put together. St. David's Choir, along with folks from St. Edward's, folks from Faith Lutheran, and folks from Anna's Bay and Women of Note.
Wow.
So it'll be awesome, and that part of the program starts at 3
o'clock. So Saturday, December 1st, it's tomorrow, and it's from 1 to 4 with the program at 3 there. Checking out all that has to offer at St. David's at sdow.org. We're going to put the links to this when we post this interview here just in a few moments. But please make time to come on down and just learn a little bit more about this long-standing great church in the Shelton area. Well, it certainly was wonderful talking with everybody, and I look forward to hearing about how great this turned out and more wonderful work done by the Episcopal Church. Father Joe, good to see you. It's been a little while. We'll get you back in more regularly, I'd say. Patti, good to see you. Billie and Norm,
you.
thanks as well for coming on.